So a lot of times when I'm thinking as a guitar player, arranging, composing, instrumental, or even music where it's with vocals, I like to think as an orchestrator. So if I can kind of represent everything in the guitar, I might start with a bass thing that's okay, whatever, kind of cheesy, just standard G7 thing. So that's kind of covering my bass thing. And I might do something in the top where boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, boom, so it goes along with it, and it kind of feels like this supplemental thing where now it just really just kind of feels like it's still part of the same thing. And I could do the same thing. Something in there, chordal, or just doing this thing up top as a third guitar. It's still playing boom, bam. It's going with the rhythm that's happening there. So right now I'm kind of building parts that all feel like when they're mixed together, they are one big thing, although they're three separate guitar parts, right? And I might even think maybe I'll do another one that kind of hints at that part, but has a little bit more of rhythmic momentum. And here I make it so it's an actual 4-bar phrase. So it's not just the exact same thing the whole time. I'm trying to make it so you can definitely tell where the top of the phrase is. And it'd be a lot easier if I was looping myself and I could remember exactly, but that sort of concept I'm trying to think about all those things in my head as I'm going. So now I have that. Maybe another part is almost just like think of a shaker or a hi-hat. Now I'm thinking, I'm thinking as a percussion player. So still sitting on G7, might just pick a simple, this voicing, kind of like an open C, just moving that up. But I'll just hit these two, the F, the flat 7, and the 1, the F and the G. I might go. Now all of a sudden it's this thing on top. So just like a drum kit has kick, snare, hi-hat, this is kind of functioning as my hi-hat. And this is the foundation. That sort of thing. And then I have a little bit of energy happening in the other parts. And what I also might do is come up with something then that feels a little bit melodic to go with it. It's just these double stops and adding that little chromatic thing. It's just kind of interesting. It's just to add something that's a little interesting, because I think everything else has been a little stock so far. And the way that I'm doing it, just to kind of give it a really tight, almost pizzicato violin sound, is I'm doing all downstrokes and it's palm muted. That really adds to the sound rather than it doesn't quite do it the same way if I'm adding all these parts together. And then when I do that, now what else is missing? Everything is quite rhythmic, so I might think almost I want something that kind of sustains through. So what kind of vibe do I want? Do I want to have something that feels now with this layer? you have the ability to really change the vibe. You can go, go bridge pickup and whammy, almost make it a little bit of Hawaiian thing, or almost like Freddie Freeloader, Miles Davis thing, but with all this other rhythmic kind of funky-ish stuff happening, syncopated stuff. The sustainy guy now kind of adds something that's a little bit interesting that just hasn't been filled before as a role. So as you can hear, what I'm going for in all of this is finding roles, finding a purpose for a part, and then assigning some sort of visualization to it. And a lot of the way that I arrange my guitar parts, I think like a drummer, but I don't want to, where it's, like hat, kick, snare, toms. I'm trying to think of these different things that all go together to make one drum beat, right? Like when we play guitar parts, we normally think just like guitar part 1, guitar part 2, guitar part 3. Drummers could do the same if it's just like boom, 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 and then you add the snare, add the hi-hat. But really when it's all together, like it's all these things together that make one part. That's how I like to think about my guitar playing. And then beyond that, it's really, really important. I've said this in other columns before. Don't just think G7. When you're playing tunes, try to think of something that feels iconic to that song, something that feels like it is that song. That feels like it's unique to that thing. Like if a wedding band was covering this song, what do they have to play? Okay, the bass player is playing this thing. Okay, some of the extra parts, yeah, that's stuff that just kind of adds to it, sure. But what you should try to do is come up with rhythmic parts that fit the chord, that feel like hooks, that feel like melodies. And then all of a sudden, rhythm guitar playing is a lot more fun to do. So when I'm layering, I'm always thinking of what does this layer function as? How does it work with the other layers? And is it accomplishing something new? Is it just supplementing something else? And sometimes it's just, I need to add something that's completely different.